Everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts, coming on today to share with you actually, it's going to be the pumpkin painter paper piece process. This is from Treasure Box Designs. This was I think it's the title of Fall Colors. I'm not sure exactly the name of the uh, file, but it's also from Treasure Box Designs, and I thought they went together really well. I just thought I'd quick share with you what I did here. Um, First of all, I used off-white instead of white there, and I popped that up. And then I'll be popping the back of it up when I put it on my layout. My letters here, the word fall, I did emboss those it's a script embossing folder. It's from Cuttlebug. It's very old. I don't know where I got it or anything of it, or if it's even still available. The cream color, I did emboss that with the Spellbinder 3D embossing folder, but I didn't have a very good sandwich, and that's okay because I added all the layers on. But it's this leaf one, and the item number is right down here, the SCS number. But I really enjoyed using that for fall. And then I put glossy accents. I've got about 3 layers on there, and I think they're getting dry. I'm not 100%. I'm not going to check it out yet. And in the centers of those flowers, I used frosted berry liquid pearls. You can see, sorry for the glare, it's all of a sudden the sun came just at an angle where it's really glaring, so I might have to adjust a few things here. But I'm going to go ahead and get started on the mouse so I can get it together. Let's see. I should have had the pieces uh, sorted out. I did it one time, and yeah. I don't know if that's the right size one. I cut 3 extra flowers, just the flowers, and then they're about 1 1/4, I think. Let's take a look. Maybe 1 1/8. And then what I did was I created an external offset, in Cricut Design Space, and I wanted those for my scrapbook layouts, or my scrapbook layout that I'm creating. So I've got 3 of those, and then I've got one of the larger flowers, and I got to keep them straight. I didn't keep them very straight. These might be a little bit smaller. Yeah, about 1 1/4. There's my bigger one. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start with the eyes right away and get those out of my way. I think you can see that there. I'm really struggling with lighting for videos. I am so sorry. I've been messing with it, but each day is different, and it's just trial and error. So hopefully it gets better, right? These are attached. I want to be a little more careful so they don't get detached and I make a mess. Hopefully I was going to say, I hope my head's not in the way, but I guess it really can't be uh, the angle I have the camera. I don't know, I keep thinking that. It's been a crazy day again. So anyway, I think that the eyes where I have the darker bluish green, I think they were more green. I just changed them up a little bit. I like those. I'm going to set those aside and the nose aside. And then I might as well put these flowers together while I have them and keep them all separated with the centers because I'll have 2 different size centers also. And what I did, I used the same colors. So the yellow here is the same color as the yellow on the title on the flower, or It's the same color as the yellow on the flowers on the title. And you know, you may laugh at me, but I used to have a struggle keeping my colors matched up. Stop, using the same color when I was doing, I wouldn't always match my colors the same exact color. So anyway, that was been years and years ago. And I didn't care. They were just mine at the time, so it really wasn't that big of a deal, but it looks nicer if they're all the same if you can do that. So now that's the bigger one, I'm sure. Yeah. And you could probably make these the stitched flowers like the Spellbinders has. Uh, I think you would just have to cut a center in the middle of these, but yeah, I like them, but I don't have a lot of, oh, I really don't have, other than maybe white, black, and red. Those are the only embroidery floss colors I have, so, and I don't have anywhere that I know of in town that I live in anymore to get embroidery floss. So I just like them the way they are. I think they look very nice with the cutouts in the center. Now, before I keep rambling and forget to say anything, and I do that quite often, I would like to welcome all my new subscribers. Guys, in my last video, I forgot to say anything, and I am so sorry. I'm good at that. So please. Okay, I think before I glue this green piece onto my brown piece, I'm going to find my colors I want for the brown leaves. I'm using this dark, it's almost a black color, but it is a very dark, dark black, or brown, excuse me, and I can never find the colors on here. Just looking, no. This is a 05, so it's a little bit thicker. Um, I'm kind of watching where I want how I want my leaves, my lines to go. It doesn't show real well, um, but it's good. I'm good with it. So now I'm going to put this on, and then I'll put the leaves on, or the lines on the leaves. I did this on the other one, on the title. I put the lines in the leaves, and I'm matching up the colors. So there's some continuity to, believe it or not. Some days I actually get things, what do I want to say, somewhat straight. Okay, so now in the green only, I have this lighter green, excuse me, lighter brown. And again, I don't know the colors of these. This is a 005. It is a, um, I just can't think of the name of the color, and it's been a while since I've gotten them, so, um, and then what I did on the other one on the title, if I can remember to find or get the right color pom-pom, let me double check here. Oh goodness, I wish I could see. I don't know why I got new glasses, because it's that I should try my other glasses once and see once if it helps. But I just went along the line and made it in the center. You kind of go over it with a little tiny pom-pom in a green. And again, I did that on the flower on the title also. And I was just checking. I had previously, I don't know, from day to day, my crazy computer is the operator, I'm sure, but I was making sure my video was still recording. Technology has to be my least favorite thing in the, pretty much ever, anywhere. I'm going to take my green for my, or to my paintbrush. This is, I think it's called charcoal. I know it's American Crafts, but I think it's called charcoal. No, it might be graphite. It's, good grief, it's one of those two. I bet it's graphite. I can't remember. It's not pure black, though. And I know that's what it shows on the picture online. So now this color is what I used on here. It's that pink. It might not look like it because of the glossy accents. And then the circles at the centers of the flowers here, I will do all those with the frosted berry liquid pearls too. I just chose to cut it out that color because I don't know, it just seems like the liquid pearls just get a better color than if they're on white. So I apologize if I'm not explaining things well. I had to call somewhere today about a bill I'd received, and I was just trying to understand, or well, it was yeah, basically you could say a bill, and I was just trying to make sure I was getting it and wanted to know how much, was paid and stuff. It was from my insurance company, and we just weren't connecting. I just felt bad for the poor girl, and finally I said, I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize, but how much did you pay? That's all I want to know. And we both kind of started laughing, and she said, oh, and then she gave it to me, and everything was good. Like, yeah, I can't talk. What can I say? Okay, I'm gonna do the arms next, and if you watch me, if you've been a long time subscriber, you know that I don't go any rhyme or reason when I put my pieces together. I just I don't work from top to bottom or anything. I just kind of start putting pieces together. Never really been one to go top to bottom. I like if there's like say the eyes. If I got that, or if I oops, I put the glue down too far. Shucks. Um, quick, where is it? If I have really tiny pieces, when I resize and it's about half this size almost, or 3/4 of this size, I start putting the little tiny pieces together first because otherwise I can lose things so quickly. It's ridiculous. Forever recutting. So, and this piece, I want to say maybe. I think I got that upside down. I can't remember how this went. But from the bottom of the pumpkin to the there, top of like the top of his ears up here, I think it's about 5.5 inches tall. Okay, here's a good example of I was trying to put the pumpkin piece on like this. And this particular one, it does go. I'm going to eat my words if I'm not careful. It goes either way. Okay. Let me double check that. Now I said that. I'm going to just confirm that that's. Yeah, this one does. A lot of pumpkins, they may look like they would go either way, but they do not. So you want to see, maybe try flipping them around and try it both ways and then see how it sits. Make sure that it does either totally go either way or not so exposing. Excuse my reach here. I'm going to just do an adjustment real quick. Oh, I don't want to go too much, and then it will just be as it gets a little bit darker outside, or the sun is kind of moving. I just want to make sure you can still see good. Now, I have found, again, for me, this is not, any hard and fast rule that you have to follow, please. But I'm learning some of this stuff when I want to highlight it, and I know something is going to be sitting on top of here, okay? There's the mouse leg, and that's going to be there. I'm learning to highlight as I go. Um, Again, not something you have to do. It's just what works for me. So I just share what I do, or that works for me. Well, that didn't work too well, now did it? And then I really got too much on my brush here. So, yeah, whatever works for you. It's what I always say, do what works best for you. Because obviously, don't follow me sometimes, because it's a mess. Just trying to get some of the pan pastels off in my brush here. I'm gonna put some more of this up if I can. Sometimes I can get it off with a eraser, but not always. Let's see, I've got the bigger eraser on my pencil, which is still fairly flat. I'm going to go with that for now. Okay, now I'm going to do the head first. Okay, the body, um, you have to do something just a tiny bit different than you would think you could just put the pieces together. So I just throw that out at you. Also, I don't know if you're new to paper piecing, you will not notice this, okay? If you've been paper piecing quite a while and have been using Treasure Box Designs files, I have for, I don't even know if it's been 10 years or more. I lose track. But her paper piecing, most of her pieces, now her newer pieces, are put together differently. They're constructed differently than they used to be. So I haven't decided if I like them or not. I'm kind of on the fence yet. I like the designs, but the way they go together, because you would have not had this full head piece before. You would have just had the ears that would attach to this. The leg part, you wouldn't have had this full second with the shirt. You wouldn't have 3 layers to this body part. You would just have basically 2. Well, 3. You'd have this, you'd have this, just this bottom leg, and then this other leg going. So for people that are new to paper piecing, think it's easier because you have more to work with to put it together. For me, I'm still learning. It takes me a little bit to think, oh yeah, I know about this now, and so I think in some respects, yeah, it really works a lot better. I was looking for uh, I'm just gonna go with it this way. You can sandwich this in between, and you would have to put this piece and this piece on, put them all together, but you can't do that yet until you get the body attached to the pumpkin. So I am just going to put the head together, and then when I'm able to put this all together, I'll put it behind. So I'm good with that. Okay, I knew should have a muzzle somewhere, but it matches up here, but then I don't have a piece here to. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Uh, and I'm going to just leave that sit there. I'm not. There are two little uh, notches down here, like little bumps that the I guess that whatever muzzle or whatever will go into. I don't know. Do mice have muzzles? No clue. This would be cute in gray. This mouse. I've just started making my mice in more tannish color because mice aren't really pure gray. I don't have a good mouse color that I've, should I say, found yet. And I'm not buying any new paper. Can you believe that? I'm trying to use as much stuff up as I have before I buy new. That'll last for, a month or so. And then I'll be back to buying stuff. Just the way it is for me. Let's see. I want to see how far I want to. Yeah, I'm just going to go with. I'm just looking where I wanted to stop his eyes. I think we're just going to stop here. I might change that. You never know. Let's see. Now I'm using a number 5 for this, and sometimes I struggle stopping up there. So I will take my number 5, excuse me, my 005, and just kind of even it out some. So, because otherwise it's so thick, but I like it a little bit darker. I'm going to put on cheeks. I need a little more stuff on my work table here. Good grief. And I'm just kind of seeing what I have for color. There's a lot more color on the uh, end of this than it looks like. I'm just going very, very light. So if you're wondering, now I have to go a little harder because sometimes it takes a bit, but I don't like to start out with a lot. I just add more to it. And let's see. Okay, I'll go with that. Now, to the black. Well, I hope everybody is doing well and having a good day. I'm doing okay. I really have some things that, just will never go away. You just, like most things, you just learn to deal with it. I'll be happy when the swelling goes down and I can put some teeth in, though. Unfortunately, that has not stopped me from finding food to eat. I was thinking that would be a good thing, but oh well. Let's see what I can do. I don't really have a paintbrush out that I can use to blow, or they've all got stuff on them, or they've got chalk on them, and I have to be careful how much I blow yet with my mouth, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful. I have to put the lid on my pan pastels, especially because we'll have pan pastels everywhere, especially the white one, because they're a little bit, I haven't uh, fixed them yet, so I'm making his eyelashes a little bit longer because it is a bigger face. Again, uh, completely your preference. It's, and I don't do curves well. That one is not very centered very well. So I'll just do straight lines first. Well, good grief. Maybe we should just not attempt to put eyelashes on. That's a little better. I guess I need to find just a little, like a 6-inch ruler or something that I could use, but I would still get them crooked. I like the previous minister's wife who just said she puts them there, and if that's crooked, she just said that's where God wanted me to put them. So I thought that was a good answer when they're not straight. And it's very possible. These brushes you may not be able to see, but they are a tiny bit angled. I like those because then I can do a little bit more, well, maybe not today, but sometimes a little bit more angling than I would normally be able to. And you can achieve that if you have if you have these things too. But it's a little bit bigger area, and I'm trying to learn to use these angled brushes a little bit because I don't have, well, I have, enough of the pink ones, but I'm trying different things, and again, I'm not buying anything for a while. My teeth, and then my car decided that it needed some work, and then poor guy from the garage called, and they had some problems, and then something else they had to fix. Like, I don't think that should be my responsibility. They didn't find it humorous. I was joking, but I told them I can't do it very well. So, you know, um, that was another expense I wasn't planning on. And the teeth I have, that I knew, and I have, well, was prepared for that. I'm not quite what I expected, but um, yeah, not my car. Just went out one day to drive it, and boom, it just sounded awful. So I guess I have to have it fixed. Hey, let's get back to paper piecing. You guys are probably sick of me by now. The reason I said you couldn't put the head, the body and stuff between the head yet. Gotta put the muzzle on too. We'll do that in a minute. But because one leg is going behind the pumpkin, okay, let me think about this a minute. I forget how this works. I had this figured out. Yeah, okay. So he's got one leg in front, one leg in back, right? The way this is designed is this is a piece with the tail. This piece is going to go on behind, okay? This piece, the body, the second body without the tail, that's going to go with this leg on top of the pumpkin, so it looks like he truly is sitting on the pumpkin. And I want him down just a little bit, okay? So if you wanted to do all this and then do the head, so you could put this part between two head pieces, fine. I think if I did it that way, I would end up with quite a bulge, and I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't be able to cover it. So I'm going to go my way and do the way that it works for me when we find the glue. So I hope that made sense. Um, yeah, anytime. And this is one of those things where if it was rated that you were piecing it together a little bit different, you wouldn't have this piece probably that goes behind pumpkin. You would just have this piece here and then this piece going over the top. So however you want to look at it, but I'm going to put some glue along here. In some respects, this really does make it easier to be able to put it together. I kind of want to see where this is going. Okay, so I want to put it down just a little bit. Okay, just gonna, he might be tilted just a tiny bit. I'm fine with that. Then we can put this piece on and see how he's sitting now on top of the pumpkin. But I'm going to get mother glue. It's just too big of a piece to mess with here. Excuse me, that was heavy. Oh, my neighbor must be home. I can always tell when he's home because he has his television quite loud. Probably not enough that you can hear anything, but I can hear it echoing. And I usually don't hear any of my neighbors, truly. It's amazing how quiet it is in here, so I always can tell he must be home. Okay, now I have to go and find some papers to match this without, again, buying any more. That's probably my one downfall lately is um, printed paper. I don't really think I need any solid cardstock for quite some time, but printed paper I can always use. I gotta put that muzzle on. I'm telling you, and the nose, they're driving me nuts. He looks so weird. And then I gotta do something to his ears, which I will do in a moment. I did put whiskers on. I try on my mice and my rabbits to always put whiskers on. There's a little indentation or spot that this goes on. I'm putting it up just a little bit. So if you wonder, I do things strange, right? Okay, here's what I was looking for. I'm gonna get this kind of cleaned off. Okay, I just want pink. I didn't want some more terracotta red on here, so Just kind of highlighting the insides of his ears with some pink. I'm not doing a lot, but just kind of, he's been out in the sun, hanging out in the pumpkin patch, right? So, and we'll also give him some highlights on his cheeks. And let's see, where are we gonna? I kind of come back and fix those as I work with them, my whiskers. When I get them in the page and on the page, it's easier also to kind of move them around and get them where you want. So I'll play with that later. Okay, now I have to think about this because I believe I'm going to put this one on first. That goes behind. And then kind of play with the front one. Oh goodness, where? Oh, there it is. And that'll be the next thing I lose. Guess I want this in front. That was stupid. Put some glue on the back. Okay. I'm not putting it all the way up to the top, up there that it shows, and not all the way up to the point, because its head is coming down some, so I don't, and that's even too high. I don't want it up so it's just right underneath his chin. I want him to have a little bit of a neck. Yeah, that's better. And then this one, let's see. I'm going to set him, I'm going to try to get him straight. Maybe not for you guys, we'll probably be a little off, but um, like this. Just one moment here. Makes it worse. I'm just trying to get it so you can, hopefully it's not too dark now, um, and figure out where I want this arm. Okay. Putting some glue on. I didn't put glue under the paw here yet, or his hand, because I have to be able to put the paintbrush underneath. But I wanted to be able to know where to put the rest of it. So, and see here too, it's down much more. I don't put it right at the top, if that makes any sense. Okay. And let's just put some glue in here and kind of along here. And I'm not looking at the picture for exact placement. Okay, so if it's up a little too high, I don't mind. I really don't mind. I forgot to get something out here, so for my pumpkin. And this can go, let's see, would be this side a little bit. I glue on the back of the head also, just because it keeps, for me, it gives the head, the neck more stability, so it doesn't, um, otherwise sometimes they'll really flop around bad. So he's got a lot more stability. Doing the 3 layers with the shirt and the body gives him a lot more stability too. So that's another nice thing for that. Okay, and it's gonna go here. Now I want my flower, and it is going to go down here, but I have decided I want that popped up. So I'm going to pause the video just one moment. Okay, I'm back, except I didn't get the darn. Oh, goodness. I tell you, I'm just grabbing well, hopefully, I say I'm grabbing my foam tape that I have here. I'm hoping to have enough. Yeah, I do. And get some cut if one can find the scissors. Someday I should really share with you where this little area I work in. It's a disaster, but I've got, I don't know, I think I'm down to 2 videos that I'm behind, and then I'm caught up, and I can finally, get on to something else and get my work surface cleaned up. When my great niece was over here helping me, I think I told you, her mom's always telling her to clean up her room, and she was over here looking at my mess, and I said, what are you looking at? And I said, don't be making fun of my mess. I said, I can find stuff. She said, I tell my mother that all the time. She just doesn't understand. She said, just don't move it, and I'll be able to find it. I said, yep, you must be related to me, because that's me. And I do. I find it. I just gotta sometimes dig for it a minute or two, but I know which pile it usually. I was telling a friend of mine, I tore my apartment apart looking for some uh of the packaging tape the other night. It's for my big ATG thing. Well, I don't know. And I looked on top of the fridge. It was right there all the time. And I stared right at it. And later, I finally gave up. I mean, I went through every storage space I possibly have, which is not a lot, don't get me wrong, but and I'm like, what in the world is wrong with me? Just making sure where I need another piece here. Well, anyway, then I got up later to get something to drink, and I looked up on top of the fridge, and it was just like laughing at me that it had been there all along. What's wrong with you? Gosh. I apologize if you think I'm throwing things. My hands don't, when they get to a certain point, and I've been having lots of pain, they just start throwing things random like that. So, yeah, it's just one of the lucky things I have. When you have tendonitis really bad, that's what it does. You don't have to pop this up. It's completely optional. It's just making sure that yeah, that's good. Could probably have one more little piece down here, but I'm going to leave it. I'll play with it forever and not ever get done. Now I am going to I'm going to erase my lines on my face first. And I'm going to attempt to put some glossy accents on here and some glitter and not get my fingers in them. How about that? I'm going to start, yeah, I'll work with this. I'll come back to see, come back to it, but just want to get it started here. I'm going to do these 3 flowers first, and if you don't know, I have a little trick. You may probably already know it, but I'll just show you. So I'm just starting around the outside, first of all, and I just kind of go in a little bit of a circle as I'm applying it. I don't know if you really have to, but how I do it. Okay. And then I circle off and come up. Now, if you still have a little bit of a raised area, I don't know, you come over here and I can do it over here because I don't have paper there. I'm just tapping it down, okay? And it will eventually settle pretty flat. Um, if you ever decorated cakes, this will make more sense to you. How you finish off when you're doing like piping and stuff. So, okay. And even if you just are putting a dot down, if you finish off, I'm going to try again to show you. Let's get my hand out of the way. So I'm really just going around in a circle here, filling out the outside edge first. Okay. And then I'm going to come around, let and come in circles, let up the pressure, bring it up. Now it does have a little bit, if you can see, there's a little bit in the middle that's raised up. Okay. I just tap it off over here and it's flattened out quite a bit. It does flatten it more as it dries. It's a really nice way to do it. Now, I realized I didn't do any of my additional highlighting and with the chalk and pen. I want to do that before I finish putting the rest of the Nuvo drops on, or I will have Nuvo drops all over my lovely hands that are already filthy. So, um, yeah, I learned this a long time ago when I was doing some coloring classes that you put white around in the face. When you're coloring, you also use um, yellow, but I don't use that one on my pieces. But so if you're wondering what I'm doing, that's why. Just want to put. I don't trust. I thought I had a little too much chalk on there to start out. I'll come back and do this one, but again, I'm working all over. I will have ink. I'll have uh, liquid pearls and Nuvo drops everywhere. So that's why I'm choosing not to do it yet. I like using textured cardstock, but it's a learning curve or an ongoing learning process for me highlighting. So, yeah, like that. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit on his paws. And I can see I have plenty. Not going to leave that, so way too much yet. For me, I don't particularly care for a lot of white chalk unless, depending upon how it's applied, and some of it I see is not all chalk. So let's just do a little bit in here. a lot of it looks to be more um, very masterfully applied white ink. I get better results with white ink than I do with chalk. I just am, like I said, using up what I have. So, okay, I'm going to stop with the white chalk, do a little bit of highlighting here. Looking at my, so this one I'm going to put, this I'm going to put glossy accents. So like probably 3 layers so it looks wet. This I will put more liquid pearls. But before I do that, I want to do his nose. I will put, this is something. Black Magic. It's from Pops of Color. Okay, it's glitter. Once it dries, and probably not until tonight or excuse me, tomorrow when I get home because I'm going to be gone. I have appointments tomorrow. But I will let it dry overnight as it's getting a bit later. I come back and I put glossy accents over that just because I have a problem with, you know, what do you call it? Glitter of any sort drying up really fast. So, okay, I'm just going down the line so I don't go over something. Um, yeah, I'll do this one next. I want to do something with my pumpkins, but you know, I have started doing different types of cards with coloring, with alcohol markers and colored pencils more, and I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But and I have my glimmer machine. I love that. I still come back to my paper piecing. I miss it. I just want to be careful with the glitter on its nose too. Okay, now I'm going to do the liquid pearls. I'm going to try to make this just a tad brighter for you here since the sun's really going down, because then you can maybe see a little better. Um, it's probably a little too bright. He's adorable though. If you do fall stuff, I think he would just be adorable on a card. I'm going to have to do that next. Let's see. We're going to go here. Normally I just do 3, but it's just a big pumpkin. I tend to over embellish, by the way, if you haven't figured that out by now. So, yeah, I just like to use what I have. But, okay, I'm going to bring these, well, maybe back in. Let's see, bring this down. I'll bring the title in. Let's go off just a little bit. How about that? If you have any questions, please be sure to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, this is my finished project for today. He's going on a scrapbook layout, by the way. But I do want to thank you all for joining me. Have an awesome day. Take care.